Achiame, Nananum, Nanahimanum, Umayema class of 2021. Ayiku.
Yenara asasini eya boarding ding maying mojana na nanum shegu yeditu omaying ejurumini wososo seyebe yebiatasu ninjetasu kutu krani nyepesemin kuminya ediyeng bremude mamaya sasihudo atumse Yenara asasini eyabo dinding mayeng mujana na nanu shegu yeditu omayeng ejumini wususu seyebe yebiatasu ninjetwasu kutu krani nyepesemi kumina ediyeng bremude mamayen sasihudo atumse Amano sebeye yo, amano senye yo, yes and na ose, aman fubrane chere, amano sebeye yo, amano senye yo, yes and na ose, aman fubrane chere, amano sebeye yo, amano senye Amano fubrane amano sebeye yo, amano serenye yo, yes and na ose, amano fubrane
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 17th commencement ceremony for Ashesi University. Once again, we come to you in your homes and spaces across Africa and around the world, hosting this ceremony virtually as we all work to stay safe and stop COVID-19. Gathered here with us are the remarkable men and women of the class of 2021, who have come through a year like no other with resilience. Our ceremony today is a celebration of these students, recognition of the hurdles they have to overcome, and the future they will undoubtedly lead as they go into the world as Ashesi alumni. As a proud Ashesi parent myself, I celebrate the fathers, mothers, guardians and families of these soon-to-be graduates for your dedication to their education, your willingness to walk by their side on their journey so far, and the sacrifices you have all made to help them get to this day. We celebrate you and what must undoubtedly be a milestone for you as well. To my colleagues, staff, faculty, and teammates, congratulations to each of you for stewarding these students during their time here at Ashesi and helping them navigate what will be remembered as one of the most disruptive periods in a generation. Congratulations to the entire Ashesi community and to you, class of 2021. And now, I would like to invite the head of our academic team, the provost of Ashesi, Professor Angela Usua, to share her opening address and officially commence this ceremony.
Congratulations, class of 2021. The world is a new place, and despite its inconceivable constraints, you have got this. Paradoxically, it is directly from constraints that critical thinking and innovations emerge, as demonstrated in the 4 short excerpts I'm about to read from Nigeria, Japan, Egypt, and the New World. Nigerian Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart and his Arrow of God novels may lead to the easy conclusions that the heroes of each novel, Okonkwo, Iziulu, are typical Igbo Umaro men used by the author to portray the self-fragmentation of Igbo society during the colonial era. However, there are many more readers of Things Fall Apart who perceive a resilience in Umaro society, which in their view ensures that the center holds even if things have fallen apart. The source of that resilience is in the twin notions of duality and balance, central to the Umaro view of life and the world. You can argue that these notions form the basis of the ambivalence at the core of the novels, and that they help to explain the Igbo man's tendency to look both backwards and forwards. Additionally, in Achebe's Arrow of God, Iziulu, the chief priest of Ulu, is caught in the middle of a heated cultural religious scuffle between the natives and a new religion that threatens to disrupt social cohesion and Umaro life in general. Iziulu explains to his son Oduche why he must join the new religion. The world is changing, he had told him. I do not like it, but I am like the bird Ineke Intioba, who, when his friends asked him why he was always on the wing, he replied, men of today have learned to shoot without missing, and so I have learned to fly without perching. Iziulu alludes to the Igbo philosophy of duality and difference. Among the Igbos, they believe that wherever something stands, something else will stand beside it. There's no one way to anything. There's no absolute anything. This Igbo principle rethinks excess and tradition, flexibility and adaptation, and centers dualities. Now, in Japan, the Japanese engineer Nakatsu saw a blend with nature as the solution to a vexing problem. During the 1990s, he was working on the bullet train to allow for faster travel times, but the existing design had an inherent drawback. The flat prow or face of its locomotive would create ear-shattering noise when moving at high speeds. Nakatsu, an avid birdwatcher, observed that the tapered beak of the kingfisher bird enables it to dive into water with barely a ripple or a sound. Nakatsu's solution for the bullet train? Give the locomotive a beak. The locomotive's bird-like nose reduces the train's noise as it speeds along at 200 miles an hour. For my excerpt from Egypt on the nexus of critical thinking and constraints, I chose a fable, and like all the best fables, it is a bridge to the truth. Once upon a time in Egypt, there was a camel merchant who had 3 sons. When he passed away, he left 17 camels. In his will, he had stated that the eldest son should get half of the 17 camels, the middle son should get 1/3, and the youngest son 1/9. As it is not possible to divide 17 into half, or by 3, or by 9, the 3 sons fought over the camels, but to no avail. They decided to go to a wise man for a solution. The wise man listened patiently to the 3 brothers, and after giving this some thought, brought 1 camel of his own, added it to the 17, making the total number of camels 18. Then he began to read their deceased father's will. Half of 18 is 9, and he gave the eldest son 9 camels. 1/3 of 18 is 6. He gave the middle son 6 camels. 1/9 of 18 is 2, so he gave the youngest son 2 camels. Now let's add this up. 9 plus 6 plus 2 is 17. And this leaves 1 camel, which belonged to the wise man who took his camel back. That goes to show that sometimes in constraints, the solution is not as obvious, and it requires you thinking outside the box. Finally, the excerpt from the New World states that automation in tandem with the COVID-19 recession is creating a double disruption scenario for workers. We estimate that by 2025, 85 million jobs may be displaced by a shift in the division of labor between humans and machines, while 97 million new roles may emerge that are more adapted to the new division of labor between humans, machines, and algorithms. The top skills which employers see as rising in prominence in the lead up to 2025 include critical thinking and analysis, as well as problem solving, and skills in self-management such as active learning, resilience, stress tolerance, and flexibility. Class of 2021, you've got this. Congratulations. I now invite the class speaker, Samuel Owusu Chao, to share his remarks.
Education is the most powerful weapon anyone can use to change the world, Nelson Mandela once said. For most of us, such words of inspiration were integral in influencing our choice of Ashesi. And so some years ago, this class of culturally diverse and unique personalities assembled as a cast for a big soap opera, waiting to hear the word action. Today, I'm humbled to serve as the voice of this cast as we celebrate our curtain call as what has been an incredible stage production. Nana Otin Kranchi II, Nananom, President of Ashesi, Dr. Patrick Usua, our distinguished guest speaker, luminary university leaders, faculty and staff, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Samuel Chao, and I'm a proud member of Ashesi's class of 2021. It's been quite the ride. After a first week at Ashesi, mainly filled with play, many of us thought we were in for an amusement park romp over our next years at Ashesi. The hard work that lay ahead of us was quickly introduced by our faculty, starting with Joe Mensa's early morning calculus sessions, which sometimes ended in counseling sessions when we saw our quiz scores that sounded like telephone numbers 020, 412, and on and on and on. And so it came to be that over our time here, building out this soap opera, we have got the chance to work with an amazing group of Ashesi faculty and staff. People we will remember as our directors, stage managers, script writers, and many others for the curtain call that we are now celebrating today. As we now replay the soap opera in our minds, I hope to reflect on some key lessons from our time at Ashesi. The first is re-echoed from South African business magnate Vusi Thembekwayo's choose progress over emotions. There were many times during our years here where we wondered whether the rigor we believed we were experiencing was all in our heads. Were our courses really that intense, or were we just imagining that it was? Many of us soon acknowledged that we were not imagining things. We were not imagining that Ashesi had a high-pressure environment, and we were not imagining that there was little tolerance for slacking, even from our own peers. We were not imagining that Mr. Sampet's quizzes could be deadly, and we were not imagining Makosa saying that there'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth. All this was real. But having accepted these realities, the question was, and so what? We could have chosen to be trapped in an emotional web with our realities, be upset by it all, and refuse to participate, or we could choose to harness the intensity and make meaningful progress in our personal development. Often, moments pass after being caught in this web, and we realize we've set an inverse relationship between time expended on the emotions of our realities and progress achieved. And so, a simple way to get out of this trap was to ask ourselves, do we want progress or emotions? Because you sure cannot have both. Given Commencement 2021, I believe the response is evident. But unlike most famous soap operas, The bonuses we received from our first season were not 6 figures or plush cars. Instead, we received something called grades. By season 2, it was very easy to identify my class as a protagonist of Ashesi soap opera. This season was quite fascinating, intertwined with particles of suspense. In season 2 of this classic, not only had my Ghanaian colleagues gotten used to the fact that our Nigerian friends were never going to stop pronouncing church as church and bus as boss, and our Rwandan and Zimbabwean friends had succeeded in making us believe that some of their prominent delicacies like ugali and satsa were synonymous to top continental dishes. The drama was even more heightened when Kenobi tasked our mechanical and electrical engineers in their thermodynamics class to build a steam engine as their end of semester project. Contrary to the lecturer's expectation, nobody's steam engine worked. Oh, then there was this episode where my MIS colleagues thought everything was a smooth ride to Wonderland in their system and analysis design class until writing their final exams, and only 3 people ended with an A. Now at this point, I would certainly like to thank Dr. Cook, who not only was an economics professor, but helped the likes of Poku, Allen, Leslie Goka, and myself discover our athletic skills, given that we always teleported ourselves from Charlotte, Tanko, and Hosanna to lecture hall 116 in just 10 seconds on foot, all in a bid to comply with Dr. Cook's strictly upheld 5-minute rule. Key lesson learned in season 2, relationship building. You see, by season 2, the complexities of Ashesi had made it impossible to be an island. Often, you were a hello away from gaining insight on that assignment or that stubborn code you had to present to Dr. Kosa the following day. By season 2, we had gained full insight in that nurturing strong, like-minded relationships was integral to how we're going to turn up in season 3. At this point, I bet you're all wondering the story plot for season 3. But before we dig in, contrary to the expectations of this unique and culturally diverse cast members, just like season 1, we still had not received any form of emoluments. You know, season 3 was particularly fun for me because it was a phase where, after building strong relationships in the previous season, majority of my colleagues had either started discovering their skill sets or mastering them. To start, there was Sally and Lawson, who strongly fantasized the need for creative content generation and design to unearth stories. Then there was Michael Osei and his crew, inclusive of Barnabas, Samson, Francis, among others, who had managed to convince themselves that aside their active mathematics peer support, they were the new Kevin Hart and Martin Lawrence, evidenced by all the ridiculous things they posted on their WhatsApp status. After having a good laugh from Osei and his team, Ochi, Michael Ansa, Augustus, Abeku, Raul, and Cyril would just blow your mind away with their stunning works of photography and videography. Special shout-outs to Pride and Nkosi as well for their beats and music. Then we had the likes of Mannix and Ransford, who had purpose to relive Romeo and Juliet on campus. You know, season 4 was quite epic. There were highlights where Edem and Elikem's student council leadership had minimized the impact of COVID on student learning through constructive engagement with Ashesi's executive team. And of course, my class was Ashesi's maiden year group to conduct a fully blown capstone project online. Regardless of all these occurrences and our ambitions, my class had most importantly understood the concept of servant leadership, underpinned by the Ubuntu concept, I am because you are. Honestly, Gumado's words sums up the entire journey, and I quote, "Gone are the days of FDs and evaluations, where we were frantic about what grades we would be getting. We are confident that Ashesi has impacted us, and we are going to change every fabric of our society," unquote. Now, please hear me. These are not mere words to excite Valentia electrons, because when I look at the engineering dexterities of Isifu, Openi, Lisa Princess, Munya, Lloyd, Hannah, Tamisha, Michael Ajman Prempe, Jean, and juxtapose that with the computer science proficiencies of the Lenrys, Alberts, Banahines, Daniel Nertes, the Goodies, Kwejos, and Godloves, interlaced with the MIS and business acumen of Mariam Benes, Trixie, Foster, Kanitat, Samuel Nunu, Efrie, Yafrema, just to mention a few. All I can say is, wow, Ashesi, you just unleashed a cheat code on the globe. We have metamorphosed into individuals free from political divides and numerous African cultural logic, eager to initiate sustainable global measurable impact. To our committed lecturers and loving parents, who were significant support systems throughout our journey, we are grateful. And it's only a matter of time before you read and hear of the things we've set out to accomplish. Class of 2021, I'll end on this note. On Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021, Dr. Amma reminded me of the well-known economic concept, time value of money. This concept simply propounds that because money can grow in value over time, it is better to receive money today than to receive the same amount of money in the future. And so in practice, if I had 10 Rand today, I have a better chance of growing that money to 20 Rand in a decade's time than I would if I had received 10 Rands in a decade. You see, we live in a world with a strong valuation for intellectual capacity, and so to put this in a better perspective, I coin my own term, time value of self. Class of 2021, I've got a question for all of us to reflect on. What exactly are we doing to ourselves to ensure that the proficiencies and intellectual capacity we have today will increase and sustain our impact tomorrow? Yes, we've got the placement offers. We finished top of the class. We started that business, and I can go on and on. But do we have strategy to sustain tomorrow what we have begun today? If we got into a time machine now to catch a glimpse of ourselves in the next decade, will we be filled with the smiles beaming on our faces today, or it will all be emotions over progress? We may not have the answers now, but I'm challenging us to think about it and pen down answers when we do get them. After all, leadership is about two things. First, vision, where we are going, and second, strategy, how to get to where we want to go. In all your actions, class of 2021, please never forget the time value of self. It's so important. La vida no es la que uno vivió, sino uno recuerda y como la recuerda para contarla. This Spanish adage means life isn't what one has lived, but what one remembers and how one remembers it in order to retell it. Class of 2021, a decade from now, will our time value of self permit us to remember what we've lived and remember it in order to retell it? Class of 2021, it's been an honor serving as your mouthpiece in sharing this involving soap opera, which did not yield six-figure bonuses, as most of us expected, but yielded resilience, an expansive social capital, and a transformative persona and cognitive constructs. Congratulations, and as you hop off the Zoom or YouTube, however you join this virtual graduation, don't forget, wherever you go, whatever you face, choose progress over emotion. Nana Otin Kranche II, Nananum, distinguished guest speaker, President of Ashesi, Dr. Patrick Usua, luminary faculty and staff, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you, and once again, welcome to our big day.
Hello, class of 2021. You have had a year for the history books as we have navigated a global pandemic that has caused so much upheaval and loss in our world. In this year of your graduation, we lost 2 members of the Ashesi team to COVID-19. Board member Patrick Nutor and Associate Dean of Student Life and Engagement, Frances Ewa Chermating. We also received news of losses of close family and friends of various members of our community. Let us observe a moment of silence in their memory. Class of 2021, let us also take a moment, with loud applause this time, to thank all those who have helped bring you to this day. Family and friends, university administrators, faculty and support staff, mentors, donors. As I was preparing to write this commencement speech, I wondered whether I should even mention the COVID-19 pandemic, let alone center my remarks on it. On the one hand, the pandemic has been a defining factor for your last year in college. But on the other hand, we are all weary of this situation and we cannot wait for it to be over. I wondered, who needs yet another speech about COVID? But in the end, given the dramatic role this pandemic has played, given the exceptional grit and perseverance you've demonstrated this past year, and given our collective commitment to learning all that we can in every circumstance, it seemed to me that I should accept this learning moment and speak about it on your commencement day. As Sir Winston Churchill once said, never let a good crisis go to waste. Perhaps there are some lessons here that may be useful in your professional and personal lives. Crises test the values of societies, organizations, and individuals. In addition to being learning moments, crises also tend to be values moments. This is the first point I want to make to you today, that as you continue your life's journey, it is in the moments of greatest difficulty that your values will be most tested. Pay attention to the decisions you make and the actions you take in those times, because your values may lead you to great answers or some not so great answers. The COVID crisis emerged at a time when many people were moving towards a stronger sense of nationalism, animosity towards globalization, and a mantra of me first or my country first. The world's values were changing. The world was fracturing. And the resulting lack of cooperation among nations cost us all dearly. The world's reaction this time did not match our collective response to the N1H1 avian flu scare in 2009 or the Ebola crisis in 2014. I think the big lesson here, my second point to you today, is how important empathy and cooperation are and will continue to be. We will need real cooperation to get the world vaccinated against this disease and to prevent such an occurrence from crippling the world again. These efforts will be critical to safeguarding the future of humanity. So as you go on with your lives, remember also the importance of empathy. A me-first approach to decision-making and life will not always make you first. Remember that CEOs need to care about everyone else, customers, employees, shareholders, and other stakeholders, not just themselves. Similarly, leaders of nations must care about issues that affect their citizens, both locally and internationally. My third and final point to you today is that I think it bears noting the heroism of many millions of people who have worked in their respective fields to keep the world moving forward even at this difficult time. I'll list a few. Major decisions made by governments to deliver critical government spending to prevent another Great Depression. Extraordinary work by scientists to develop treatments and vaccines for COVID-19. The tireless efforts of health workers to save lives. The steady, quiet work of engineers, technicians, delivery men and women, farmers, and many others to keep essential services running and to deliver food, medicines, and other supplies around the world. In a crisis, we notice them more, but they have always been here doing the work they do. I remember a time a few years ago when I suggested to a high-ranking professor I met that at Ashesi University, the work of a janitor or gardener was as important as the work of a professor. I remember the shock on her face. To her, my statement was heresy and would not be countenanced at other universities she had worked at. Listen, I understood her sentiment. The core functions of a university are teaching and research, and professors are the primary providers of those functions. But a lot of learning happens outside the classroom too, in an environment managed by university administrators, kept clean by janitors, made beautiful by gardeners, made safe by security personnel. As a leader, I have decided to care about everyone, see everyone, speak to everyone, respect everyone. It works for me, and I recommend this approach to you as you set forth in your careers. And by the way, this is not only about your colleagues at work. It is also about your family. I once heard the CEO of a very successful Silicon Valley company talk about the difficult first 3 years of his startup company, when he did not receive a salary and depended on his wife's salary. Investors did not understand his project, and he had a lot of difficulty getting funding. And because he was so busy at work, his wife also did most of the childcare at home. Later in a lunch conversation, people at my table remarked how terrific this guy was. What a heroic 3 years. My response, that man owes everything to his wife. As you go about your careers, class of 2021, be sure not to get so busy that you don't recognize the support of your wife, your husband, or your friends in getting you where you are. Be sure to recognize the invaluable efforts of those who work quietly with you, performing essential functions. We all learned these lessons this past year, and I thought I would share them with you on this your commencement day. Congratulations, class of 2021. We are all proud of you, and we're all hopeful for you. We look forward to working alongside you, supporting your missions in life, and helping you make a dent in this world. Godspeed. I would now like to invite our guest speaker, Dr. Maima Bello-Osagie, to share her remarks with the class of 2021. Over to you, Maima.
Ashesi, class of 2021, congratulations and Aiko. I know I don't need to explain that exclamation to the many non-Ghanaians who form such an important part of your class, but for the benefit of the non-Ghanaian parents listening in from other parts of the world, I'm congratulating this amazing class which, despite the many difficulties faced by having to complete their last year of university online, virtually, and probably feeling really lonely, has made it to graduation. It's a phenomenal achievement, and one of which all of you students and all of us, parents, professors, lecturers, supporters, and friends of Ashesi should be and are proud. Savor the moment, graduates. It's a moment you need to remember with joy as well as with pride. This is also a moment that I am savoring for a slightly different reason. It's because Ashesi University and all of you are fulfilling one of my dreams. The dream that Africans will once again, and I say once again because I'm thinking of the historically great institutions of learning in places like Timbuktu, but once again build and operate world-class and world-beating institutions on the African continent that our best and brightest young minds will attend, and then will go out and do great things for our continent and the world. As all of you will know, it's a wonderful feeling when a dream comes true. So for me, it's both an honor and a joy to have the opportunity to thank you for bringing a dream towards reality. Although it would have been an even greater pleasure to see each of you in person, I really am happy that I can convey my thanks on this occasion. As you leave Ashesi, each of you too will have goals and hopes and dreams for your future. Which human being doesn't? These may be personal, things you as an individual want or would like to achieve, or they may be more communal or corporate, things that you want to achieve for your families and communities and your countries. Most likely a combination of both. Because you are high-achieving Ashesi graduates, you're probably going to put a lot of pressure on yourselves to realize these goals and objectives. And indeed, some of you may well already have begun to take the steps along the path you have mapped out, in which case, well done. For those of you who have not, remember that while there's nothing wrong in being ambitious to achieve, not all of you will get to your goals or fulfill your dreams within the same time frame. Some of you will come back for an alumni event 3 to 5 years from now, still not having determined your final path. Others will be well on the way to having done so. In either case, it's fine. To use the analogy of a fire, some of us are slow burners, but the flame is strong and steady. Others are fast flamers. The flame burns hot and bright and then quietens into a steadier flame. Yet others are those whose flame will need fanning or even reigniting a number of times. And potentially, because after all, this is real life, a few may be regarded by some as having flamed out. For those who may find themselves in this latter situation, I urge you to remember that an apparent flame out can often be God's way of suggesting you take a different path. Consider it. The advantage of having been to Ashesi as opposed to some other universities is that you have the ability to successfully transition between varied career paths, something that may be the way of the future of work. I don't think, however, that those blessed with an Ashesi education should have limited hopes, goals, ambitions, or dreams. So today I want to encourage each of you towards a bigger dream. I want you to remember Ashesi's mission to transform Africa and its people, and add to your personal list your hopes, goals, ambitions, and dreams for a larger community. The community that is Africa, the continent on which we were born and in which we live and work, the continent into which we want our parents to be able to retire in comfort and security, the continent on which we want to bring up our children free from want, in good health and with expectations for a bright future, the continent whose beauty use many cultures and whose spirit, including the often mentioned spirit of Ubuntu, we want to share with our extended families and friends. Given that so many, including Africans like ourselves, tend to dismiss and denigrate Africa or see it only in the context of a place to be used and unfortunately abused, I'd like to encourage you as you move to the next phase of your lives to have a dream of the kind of Africa you want to see in your future. Of course, depending on what your hopes, ambitions, and dreams are for this continent, some of you may feel that your dream for Africa is too much of a big, ambitious dream, too much of a stretch, too far-fetched, too impossible to achieve. You may likely think of all the negatives that are relentlessly drummed into our ears. The dark continent, the hopeless continent, a continent of poverty and corruption and pathetic governance and incompetent leadership, an embarrassment, a joke, a continent not worth bothering about, a global irrelevance. Indeed, you are graduating at a time when the popular narrative, as you will know, is that the combination of the economic and health crisis resulting from a combination of the COVID-19 pandemic, the associated lockdowns, and all the negative factors I've mentioned means that Africa may well be headed for a continental crisis. It's easy to despair if one accepts the common narrative about and common perceptions of our continent. And yet all of us know that while there is some truth to all of the negative stereotypes, they are just that, stereotypes, albeit stereotypes that ought to be taken seriously and changed. But that change is going to come only when, in addition to better leadership and better governance, and better institutions, we have facts, figures, and data allowing for realistic assessments, realistic policies, and realistic plans to shape the kind of future we all want to see. We should dream, but we should dream, as the saying goes, with our eyes wide open. Even those of you who, like me, are more positive about Africa may well instinctively limit our hopes and ambitions and dreams for the continent because we have these negative perceptions swimming through our minds. We may well be saying, look, if we can secure education for 60% of our population, that's okay. It's too much to expect 100%. Or we may be saying, well, if we can ensure internet penetration across 70% of our respective countries, we've done enough. To expect 100% penetration is unreasonable. Or we may completely dismiss possibilities, such as that someday soon, an African nation or a combination of African nations will launch a rocket into space. What we need to remember, though, is that each of the steps towards achieving any ambitious goal is also an achievement, albeit a mini achievement. And each mini achievement comes with concomitant benefits. For example, each of you passed exams for primary school and secondary school and eventually built on those mini achievements to get into Ashesi. Or for example, let's take the project management skills needed to get a rocket into space. These are beneficial for so many things other than a space program. These are skills that can help to implement all those 5 and 10 and 20-year national plans that we hear about so often. And they are skills that can help to translate manifestos and policies into implementable programs and plans. In other words, even if we don't get to space soon or indeed ever, the skills learned can be used in other ways. So there's nothing wrong in having ambitious goals and dreams and working towards them, however small or apparently insignificant each of the steps towards getting there may be. What would be wrong is to sink into despair and let a sense of helplessness overcome you, even though you are leaving Ashesi at a time when it would be easy to despair. The many and varied disruptions resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic have exposed the myriad social, economic, environmental, health, and security fault lines that millions of people are exposed to every day of their lives. A very large portion of these are people who live on the African continent and fall into the global bottom billion, living in poverty, in danger, in terrible environmental conditions with minimal or no access to achievable things like clean water and healthcare and education. And they are Africans who are suffering economically, physically, emotionally, and mentally. For these citizens of Africa, there is indeed a crisis. And it's because of this crisis that each of you, each of us, must make the dream of a better Africa one of our dreams. Why we should do so is obvious. Africa is our home. Whether Africa is irrelevant in the global scheme of things, whether to many Africa is relevant only because it is seen as a source of valuable minerals and other natural resources, whether Africa is seen simply as a source of younger, cheaper labor, or just as a huge market, or simply as a repository of unique flora and fauna for tourists to visit, whether it is seen as a source of migrants and refugees or the potential source of future pandemics and future wars, and therefore a problem for the world, for us and at least 1 billion other Africans, it is home. Like all normal human beings, we want our home to be a place of joy and comfort and pleasure, a place that sustains rather than drains us, a place of good governance where all have access to all the things that allow for a decent life. We cannot and should not accept an Africa where lives of citizens are defined by crisis. It's a matter we need urgently to address. Situations of crisis, such as so many within Africa live in, just like the times of crisis resulting from the pandemic, present both opportunities and possibilities for new ways of thinking. As Ashesi students and alumni, you are uniquely qualified to address both. You have the skills and the confidence which so many lack and have not had the opportunity to develop. You have been taught to think critically, reason logically, ask thoughtful questions, do research, seek data and information, and make data-based decisions. Ashesi students and Ashesi alumni are amongst those particularly well qualified to recognize that some of the negative narrative about our continent is perpetuated for reasons that have little to do with Africa and its people, but rather because it suits and benefits others. You are amongst those uniquely qualified to recognize that these narratives are not the only Africa story and are certainly not the whole story. You are better able than many to address complicated and difficult issues, and make no mistake about it, the issues faced by this huge and complex continent are indeed complicated and difficult ones. You are amongst those who are uniquely qualified to make a difference to a future that will hopefully be increasingly equitable, increasingly green and carbon-free, and increasingly technological and digital. Your education makes you better able than many to put forward new paradigms, to argue for different and more Africa-relevant decision-making metrics and parameters, to consider different contexts for making assessments and judgments. As confirmed by the Times Educational Higher Impact Rankings, you have attended one of the most impactful universities on the continent. In part, I believe, because students from all parts of Africa have the opportunity to participate in the Ashesi educational journey, and because your university has encouraged you to have a social conscience. Like your founder, I am a proud Achimota Akora, but I am willing to acknowledge that Ashesi students are particularly well qualified to address Africa's future. For those of you who feel there's nothing you can do, I encourage you to remember the well-known and perhaps over-quoted words of the famous anthropologist Margaret Mead. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Individual actions may seem unimportant, but can, when put together, achieve ambitious goals. Wouldn't it make a huge difference to some of Ghana's current environmental issues if every single person in Ghana stopped flinging plastic items and other garbage out of their houses, offices, and vehicle windows into the streets and gutters, and took the trouble to put the rubbish into bags and dispose of it properly? This simple action is one each of us can individually take, and it ultimately addresses a significant health and environmental problem. Let's think about that. For those of you who feel the challenges are so overwhelming that they are impossible to deal with, I will share with you a little part of an anecdote my husband sometimes tells. While he was in Oxford University, his class agreed with one of his tutors that there were certain things that could never happen. I don't recall all of them, but I believe they finally agreed on 5 major ones. And I recall that one was that the UK would never have a female prime minister. Obviously, that happened. Another was that the US would never have a black president. You've seen that in your lifetime. A third was that the political system, apartheid, would not end in their lifetimes. Again, this has happened. To slightly misquote a famous saying of President Nelson Mandela, things often seem impossible until they actually happen. So, Ashesi class of 2021, what will your dreams for your continent be? How will you change the African narrative? What will you plan to do to make the impossible possible? You have abilities, qualities, and skills that are vital for the future of our continent, and indeed the world. Be in no doubt that having graduated in such difficult circumstances, it is clear that you are capable of a great deal. Your resilience, your determination, and your laser focus on the graduation goal make this clear. And I encourage you, wherever you may eventually find yourselves, to take up the challenge and make this continent a better place for all. May God guard and guide each of you as you enter the new phase of your lives. Congratulations again, class of 2021, and well done.
Thank you, Dr. Maima Bello Osaji, for those words of inspiration. May these words live in your hearts and minds as you move forward, class of 2021. And now, I would like to invite our Dean of Students and Community Affairs, Abdul Mahdi, to announce the recipients of this year's Scholarship, Leadership, and Citizenship Awards.
The Scholarship, Leadership, and Citizenship Award is given to graduates who have lived out Ashesi's core values during their time at the university. These awardees have contributed in outstanding ways to Ashesi's mission and have had a strong impact on the Ashesi community. This is the highest award a student can receive at Ashesi and is presented by the president of the university. Our first awardee is described as compassionate, hardworking, ready to learn, strategic with her time, people person, and thoroughly honest. She was extremely involved in extracurricular activities and yet a constant feature on the dean's list. This student first volunteered as a campus ambassador, meeting with first-time visitors, parents, and students alike at Ashesi to give them a tour of Ashesi's facilities. Not only were the guests impressed by her exceptional communication skills and approachable persona, but she also often left prospective students with an aching desire to join the university. Her work as a volunteer continued with the Pediatric Hemophilia Unit, Kolebu Teaching Hospital, where she helped slash a backlog of 2 years' worth of data to improve efficiency in the Child Health Unit. During one of her programming classes, she worked with the team to build an application that would enable students to obtain credit for purchasing from campus stores by scanning for recyclable items, a solution whose scaling brings tremendous benefits to the Ashesi community. On the global stage, she was a member of a team of 9 students who won the silver medal in the IGM competition in 2020. This is a premier international synthetic biology competition held annually worldwide to give students the opportunity to push the boundaries of synthetic biology by tackling everyday issues facing the world. The everyday issue her team sought to tackle was the over 8 million tons of plastic waste that are dumped into the ocean each year, which harms the marine ecosystem, causes coastal erosion, and threatens human settlement worldwide. This team response was using a bacterium to break down the plastics into biocement that grows on rocks at the coast, thereby reducing erosion and creating safer coastal settlements worldwide. The potential for this technology is clearly path-breaking. This awardee ran for Student Council Vice President and lost, but graciously accepted to serve on the rival team's administration as the academic committee chair, and found herself at the heart of efforts working with Academic Affairs Office to maintain effective academic work when Ashesi moved classes online due to COVID-19. And was she busy? Weekly meetings with the head of Academic Affairs to give feedback on students' experiences online, regular check-ins with students, a student representative on the reopening committee which was charged in developing protocols for safe reopening of the university, and on and on. She still managed to serve as a co-director of the HALT Prize Program, a mentor for the Facebook engineers, and co-head of the Google Developers Group for Ashesi. For so strongly representing the Ashesi ideals of scholarship, leadership, and citizenship, we present this award to Tamisha Jifa Segbefia. Our next awardee is a model Ashesi student, compassionate, dutiful, and very engaged with his community. In 2018, the Office of the Academic Advisor at Ashesi decided to create an unpaid but more structured and intentional program to give peer-to-peer academic support. This awardee volunteered. He and others who signed up became the foundation of a very successful initiative, which is now a significant component of the support academically at-risk students receive at Ashesi. He has been repeatedly recognized on campus and beyond as an exceptional citizen of the world, a scholar, and a leader. Recognized for the most creative SDG idea by Postal and Telecommunications Regulatory Authority in Zimbabwe, 2020. Global finalist, Map the System by the Scholes Center for Social Entrepreneurship, University of Oxford, England, 2020. Awarded the Champion Trophy by Sustainable Ocean Alliance, Oslo, Norway, 2019. Millennium Fellow, UN Academic Impact and Millennium Campus Network, 2018. In addition, he repeatedly appeared on the Dean's List for his academic prowess, and more importantly, made time to play for Elite FC, Ashesi Premier League. He's also the founder and president of the African Transformers Club at Ashesi, and in this role, he was heavily involved in Huduma Day activities. During these occasions, MasterCard Foundation scholars go out to implement acts of give back in disadvantaged communities. His club led 75 students to clean beaches and conduct environmental sensitization exercises. Not only was he a founder of a club, he also made time to be an active member of others. He served as vice president of the Ashesi Wiki Club and a member of the Ashesi Design Lab. He took Ashesi's message of continuous renewal literally, always probing, testing, venturing, and probing some more. He's a co-founder and chief engineer of LK Flight Tech, a company that has won $50,000 in grants for its drone technology. And he will also be starting his doctoral program in aerospace engineering at the Georgia Institute of Technology in the US this year. For so strongly representing the Ashesi ideals of scholarship, leadership, and citizenship, we present this award to Lloyd Teta. Our final awardee is a combination of decency, positive energy, and open-mindedness. As underclassman, he became head of business development of Ashesi Venture Accelerator, where he organized pitches, networking events, and the first major student trip to Silicon Valley as the AVA sought to expose students to cutting-edge business and technology developments. He also served on the academic committee of the Ashesi Student Council, and did all this while maintaining a place on the Dean's List for his strong academic performance. It was no wonder then that at the end of 2018, students honored him as the rising star of our community during the annual Bora Awards. This awardee continued his work both for the AVA and ASC to the very top. He became the CEO of Ashesi Venture Accelerator in 2019, helping to deepen its work, including developing an in-house model template for supporting student ventures irrespective of which stage they find themselves. He went beyond the call of duty to offer his time and rich experience, serving on a panel that selected the first batch of beneficiaries of the MasterCard Foundation-sponsored Scholars Entrepreneurship Fund in 2019. He restructured and rebranded the Ashesi Venture Accelerator into the Ashesi Startup Launchpad to better serve students in a fast-evolving entrepreneurship ecosystem on campus. It was not surprising that with such a record of service and his exquisite people skills, students voted him as the president of the Ashesi Student Council in 2019. The first act of the newly elected president was to reach out to the rival team to appoint their president and vice president candidates as his chair of outreach and the chair of the academic committee, respectively. It was an inspiring sight when he backed his ex-rival and outreach committee chair to pull off one of our memorable community engagement events where they held a program at Adenkribi, about 25 minutes drive from campus on Valentine's Day 2020. They had a get-together for the whole community, and as part of the festivities, held sessions on speed mentoring, responsible sexual conduct, and literacy games. It was a sign of great things to come for the rest of the year, but not in a way we anticipated. In March 2020, COVID-19 intensified in Ghana, which led to subsequent restrictions, closure of campus, and lockdowns. The pandemic tested every leader in the world severely and revealed the stuff every leader is made of. For this awardee, it showed us even more brightly what we have always known about him: a versatile, gracious, and incredibly strong character. This young man worked smoothly and confidently under immense pressure, advising on solutions for academic, social, and housing issues with the university leadership. He led his ASE team with courage and good cheer, and in one of the most trying periods, always smiling, always exploring solutions, always executing with flair and speed. If Ashesi is as strong today as it was before the pandemic, it is in no small measure due to the contribution of this young man who rallied students' cooperation behind the efforts of faculty, staff, and executive committee. For his particularly exemplary and inspirational leadership during the period of crisis, and for so strongly representing the Ashesi values of scholarship, leadership, and citizenship over the last 4 years, we present this award to Edem Yegbe.
So every year at commencement, I have this incredible privilege of presenting the Scholarship Leadership Citizenship Award to students in the graduating class who've exemplified the core values of our institution. Here at Ashesi, these values of a deep commitment to learning and sharing ideas with others, of helping others to be more successful, of always thinking about the greater good, the common good, of always being ethical in the things that we do, are important to each one of us. And we each try to live these values every day of our lives. To have been selected by the faculty and administration of this institution as being exemplars of these values is very high praise indeed. Congratulations. I hope you get as much satisfaction from receiving this award as I do in giving it to you.
Let Josephine Boatima Amankwa, cum laude. Efua Ejiriba Emisa Arthur. Oswin Ato Kwamena Anan. Jude Lawrence Ansa. Sean Akwe Enum. Benedicta Ampabila. Gladys Karen Akofo. Elikem Nanayao Asamoah. Nana Ekwia Tiwa Asamoah. Samuel Abena Sapong Asante. Nellis Asante. Ohima Ejekuma Asante Boateng. Ayawen Asinura cum laude. Rachel Erekua Owusu Atakora cum laude. Maame Ajwa Efriye Atefa summa cum laude. Nana Ohima Somua Ewua. Caroline Sewa Bempong. Precious Pearl Nanaki Berima. Alfred Berkon cum laude. Nana Poku Boache. Priscilla Sewa Bonsu. Joel Ni Bote Bote. Jade Keely Brewer. Wendy Turasong Danyo. Judith Emily Debaremba cum laude. Gilbert Bangdi Derry. Wilhelmina Ando Mina Donko magna cum laude. Benjamin Senam Doche. Seli Afi Jogbenuku. Kobna Ison Mensa. Diana Koshi Evans. Jason Arthur Evans Chenry. Dabiande Findley Antonio. Oreku Echampong Foko Che. Nanaya Anobia Frimpong magna cum laude. Leslie Selassie Efui Goka. Priscilla Dede Joe. Martin Anoble Homia. Angela Obuobia Hotman. Cecil Kwejo Besau Hudson. Kobna Sechi Hughes. Libehela Lydia Kabi. Mohammed Tala Khan. Benedict Elom Klugan. Kasha Kwipo magna cum laude. Cyril Kolete Kuonu. Andrews Kuonu. Thomas Nana Quintry. Queen Latifa Lampo cum laude. Mary Lasse. Michael Lawson. Jasmine Ache Lomo. Andrew Francis Lomote, Michael Ogbo McCarthy, Kadmiel Kofi Nyamelie Martin Odum, Ruth Brazy Mensa, David Adade Menta, Derek Nanakobna Kwansa Menta Jacobs, Yani Musa, Hamida Muntaka cum laude, Perry Nana Owusu Nkansa, Samuel Ni Nuno cum laude, Na Besa Nuno, Mame Efia Dankwa Oben Dakon, Esi Segua Ofori Aqua, Anna Sarkodie Ochre, Akosia Oben Ochre, Eunice Opare, Nana Ama Amweba Opoku Bwedu, magna cum laude, L. Phillips Otibo Ado, cum laude, Samuel Safo Owusu Ichiao, Lillian Na Komioko Kwei, Kristen Mami Ifwa Kwesen, Manuela Sechi, Kelsey Joanne Na Sekle Tego, Rita Komla Wilson, cum laude, Lisa Lan Well, Rona Mwenimba Zidane. Congratulations again, class of 2021. And remember, Nia Onimnisia Ohu.
Congratulations to the class of 2021. Your hard work has brought you to this point where you're stepping out into the world, and we're so proud of you. Remember what we always used to ask ourselves in the algorithms class, studying computer science. Can we do better? Always strive for excellence, and I believe that you're going to have an amazing impact on the world. Congratulations again. Do stay in touch. My name is Ayoko Kosa. I'm the head of the Computer Science and Information Systems Department, and I'll be reading the names of the graduating students. BSc Computer Science, Kwabena Bomono Abwaji Otre, Chrisfel Dolayen Afanam, Gloria Aram Agbenyo, Emmanuel Eje Enchi, cum laude, Kweku Abeku Ata Anyen, Georgette Ifia Aka Asiedu, Christian Muganguzi Bagaya, cum laude, Ifwa Kisiwa Boateng, Tony Chisenga, Jones Biriguma Dari, Goody Blake Dawson, summa cum laude, Yvonne Mawusinu Dewoto, Caleb Seram Komla Fienu, Albert Senior Hodo, William Albert Kojo Enam Che, magna cum laude, Lwazilenkosi Mpofu, cum laude, Nkosinati Nzembe, Lenry Nikwe, Daniel Okaite Neti, magna cum laude, Na Akle Noy, John Morrissey Okero Nyagaka, Ransford Bedu Nyaku, Emmanuel Te Kofi Odonko, cum laude, Chukwuemeka Ogochukwu Okechukwu, Owusu Banahini Kojo Osei, cum laude. Godlove Otu, magna cum laude. Joseph Edward Felix Prince Agbojan. Pamela Quartson. Jefferson Reuben Ni Adama Welbeck. BSc Management Information Systems. Salome Anoko Abi. David Diudoni Edu Amweni, cum laude. Benjamin Na Ako. Pamela Na Ayoko Anan. Najat Antiku. Rebecca Akalami Apiok, cum laude. Roberta Asari. Donald Elom Awonyo Akaba. Mami Ikuya Triwa Bessa. Batuswa Gracia Biduaya, cum laude. Mami Enakuba Kobold. Elom Alaba Date. Baroness Diowusu Ajiman. Oluwa Fikumi Oluwa Mayowa Falashe. Eleanor Lebene Bedawu. Marian Bernice Halliger, cum laude. Marilyn Lisa Hemans Kobina. Isaac Kumi. All Nice Hannah Mensa. Kizita Natoshi Mensa Fauzi. Matthew Ndeku Dugu. Jason Apau Nkansa. Kweku Amankwa Odum. Esther Odro. Florence Ofori, magna cum laude. Alute Papo, cum laude. Tracy Konedu Poku. Trixie Na Momo Kwe, cum laude. Yafrema Sarkodie, cum laude. Edel Wedem Ami Togobo, cum laude. Edem Yao Yegbe. Sherifatu Zakaria. Congratulations to the class of 2021.
Class of 2021, congratulations. You've made it in spite of COVID. You've been very resilient and dynamic, just like the dynamic systems you've learned about in class. COVID acted like the impulse to your system, and we've seen your response to it. So we know how you behave under other conditions. Congratulations. To the uninitiated, it just means that our students are well prepared to deal with anything that gets thrown at them in future. So once again, I say to you, class of 2021, well done and all the best where you go. Dr. Nathan Amankwa, and today I'll be reading the names for the graduating class of 2021. BSc Computer Engineering. Setriako Adom. Michael Dankwa Ajiman Prempe, cum laude. Ian Joseph Aite Akote. Eugenia Maonya Akpo, cum laude. Opening Kwejo Ekufo, summa cum laude. Isifu Al-Hassan, summa cum laude. Michael Atansa Ansa. Ted Ochre Asare, cum laude. Francis Awinagwa, magna cum laude. Timothy Kweku Charles Debra. Denver Chikukonya, summa cum laude. Komna Nyako Dennis. Otito Dirichiku Efyong Apang, magna cum laude. Lisa Princess Ikirezi, cum laude. Ednam Kofi Kluche, cum laude. Selom Kosi Lodonu. Yuwayo Oscar. Stephen Ousu. Nana Kwabna Ofori Parker, Tamisha Jifa Segbefia, magna cum laude. Terry Selassie Tete. For the degree of BSc Electrical and Electronic Engineering, Samuel Shamo Jr. Abe. Deradem Ama Akolo, Michael Nimdiejan Edu, Faisal Wahabu Eduko, Kristen Ajiman Prempe, William Kwesi Ekufu, Amandine Joanna Efua Ame Suwe, William Tufo Ampedu, Christopher Ajinlola Anamalia, magna cum laude. Manuela Achama Safo Enti, cum laude. Patrick Nana Esiedu, Prince Mark Kofi, cum laude. Charlotte Maxine Dawson Amoa, Mary Obuchwe Duodu, Benjamin Gomado, Tubari Kola, Christabel Mwinmala Kunifa, Hana Bwediwa Lomenyo, magna cum laude. Munyarati Majoma, cum laude. Doreen Ejiriwa Mafo, magna cum laude. Joel Anefi Ampuma in Kansa. Joshua Ni Yabua Kwe Noti. Michael Osei, summa cum laude. Kwesi Owusu Nyampong. Jean Irama Roberts, cum laude. Roland Yaka. Nana Kwesi Yurenchi. For the degree of BSc Mechanical Engineering, Ohineba Ata Agri, cum laude. Rebecca Agidi, Joyce Ake, Joe Amate Few, Ivana Ayoko Bali, cum laude. Julian Adobia Jan Samson, Nadine Irakunda, Melanie Yakranting, cum laude. Ulua Damilola Labiran, Leslie Kwesi Seram Lati, Emmanuel Ansiema Mwimbong, Kudakwashe Faith Nhanga, summa cum laude. Ulua Tobiloba Anoa Lapo Omole, Ronnie Parkwesi Panford, summa cum laude. Augustus Poku Sakodie, Lloyd Teta, magna cum laude. Nadim Afkwa Tim, cum laude. Congratulations, class of 2021.
Class of 2021, we made it! Christina Naja Frimpomaj Manprempe is my name, and it is with great honor and joy that I stand and say that indeed we made it. We turned acquaintances to families, an amateur mind to that of a professionals, transitioned into maturity, and finally, class of 2021, we went through the intense training and are here today as citizens, scholars, and leaders. Before presenting the class gift, I'd like to read a snippet from an email sent from one of our amazing faculty members. And I quote, "Dear class of 2021, oh my, I can't believe we are seniors. I use the pronoun we because I started my Ashesi journey just as you were moving in. Therefore, I am a proud member of the class of 2021. These were the exact words of Frances Iwachemanting in one of her emails sent in 2020. She was one of our Sense Life Engagement directors, and she was one who was in the boat with us and helped us sail through the storms and the tides, cheering us on and singing all the way. At the start of 2021, we heard the sad news that Frances had passed away. It was a blow to all of us. We continue to miss you, Frances, and we wish you were here celebrating with us. This day is yours as much as it is ours. For her service and impact on our lives, the class of 2021 is donating 10,000 Ghana cedis to support the Student Council's initiative to start a creative space on campus in honor of Frances. She was an embodiment of creativity and found unique ways to uplift the spirits of all those around her. We hope that this creative space will serve the same purpose by using the gifts of dreamers, creatives, and artists to help them unleash their talents and also uplift the spirits of all those around them. We hope it serves as a reminder to many Ashesi students to come of Frances's kind heart and soul. Thank you very much also staff and faculty. We saw the immense hard work and effort you put in ensuring that our journey was beautiful and meaningful in Ashesi. This institution will never cease to produce world leaders. Finally, thank you, God. It is your grace that has brought us thus far. Level 1, complete. To my colleagues in the class of 2021, I hope we do not settle for less. The paths we take may differ here on out, but let us remember that this is why we came to the school, to be trained to stand out and be impeccable in all our dealings. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, class of 2021. Wherever you are in the world at this moment, I invite you to move the tassels on your graduation cap from your right to your left. You are now officially graduates of Ashesi University. Welcome to the Ashesi alumni community. I now invite our board chair, alumni council president, and a representative from Ashesi's class of 2011 to share a few words with our newest graduates.
The day is finally here. After all the hard work, the sleepless nights, anxious moments whilst you wait for your results, you did it. Amidst all the uncertainty, you did it. You embraced your new normal and you did it. Congratulations, class of 2021. Today you step through the door of a new phase of your lives. An uncertain future made even more so by our rapidly changing world. One thing you know for sure is to expect things to change at every turn because this is your world now. Whenever that starts to fill you with anxiety or starts to overwhelm you, remember that in the past year and a half, literally everything has turned inside out. And yet, you lived through it and you excelled. You have already passed the test of perseverance, of innovating, of rising above the challenges and conquering them. You know for a fact that you have what it takes, not just to survive, but to excel in this world. Let that give you the confidence that you will excel in this new phase of your life. Embrace the challenges because they open up amazing opportunities. Keep your excitement, especially when things get really tough, because I'm afraid they will sometimes. Remember, you have it in you to surmount the challenges, because actually, you've done it before. Don't be afraid to explore. You live in a world without boundaries, so are your opportunities. Dream. To quote Maya Angelou, a person is a product of their dreams, so make sure to dream great dreams and then try to live your dream. And in all that you do, I'd like you to remember 3 things. 1, be honest. Guard your integrity jealously. In a world where this is a rare commodity, always strive to do what is right and just. Secondly, work hard. Be diligent. No matter the circumstances, even when it seems fruitless, it would pay in the end. The good book tells us that those who are diligent will serve before kings. Be kind. Be kind to all people, especially those in trouble and those who are mean to you. It is like planting good seed on good soil, and the harvest always comes, usually when you need it most. So go out there and change the world and have fun doing it. I believe in you. I know you'll be phenomenal. I cannot wait to see what you do. A special congratulations to Julianne Jan Sampson. And congratulations again, class of 2021. May God crown your efforts with extraordinary successes. Congratulations.
Dear class of 2021, congratulations on your graduation. Ayiko to each and every one of you. On behalf of the Ashesi Alumni Council, I would like to welcome you to our alumni community. We hope that you will contribute your quota to deepening the strength of our network and the relationships that we have built over the years. Ashesi graduates are known to be problem solvers. Ashesi graduates are solving some of the most challenging problems on the African continent in banking, in finance, in telecommunications, engineering, security, and technology. We hope that you will be the next group of graduates from this prestigious university to help the African continent unravel some of the most challenging problems that are dragging our development progress backwards. And we hope that you will live to the core ethics that Ashesi has impacted in you. Wherever you are in the world, please join me to take this pledge as we welcome you to the Ashesi alumni community. As a graduate of Ashesi University, I acknowledge my responsibility to this community and the generations of alumni yet to come. In the spirit of scholarship, I will continue to pursue and share knowledge with the understanding that there's always more to learn. In the spirit of leadership, I will hold myself to the Ashesi code of ethics and integrity, always taking responsibility for my actions and asking others to hold themselves to same. In the spirit of citizenship, I will actively contribute my work, wisdom, and wealth to this community and others beyond it, sustaining the well-being of Ashesi, the continent it calls home, and the world at large. Congratulations again, class of 2021.
Congratulations, class of 2021. My name is Abanai Nimayanti Chiusu, and on behalf of the class of 2011, we want to give you a warm welcome into the alumni community. You've done an incredible job getting to this point, especially over the past year, navigating the uncertainty of the COVID-19 pandemic. Please do not hesitate to reach out to us in whatever capacity. We are here to support you, and we have the utmost trust and certainty that you will go ahead and do amazing things. We were in your position just about 10 years ago, and we remember sitting here filled with so much hope and possibilities and potential. It's definitely been a journey filled with highs and lows. And through this journey, I'd like to highlight 3 key takeaways or lessons. One of them is the importance of persistence. You will hear no multiple times, either in your professional capacity or in your personal lives. Please do not let this get you down. Look within yourself, do not internalize it, and find a way, whether it's through the support of your community or through reflection, to re-motivate yourself and keep pushing. Persistence is always rewarded in the end. The second is, please invest in people and in your community. None of us can get anywhere we want to go without others behind us. And any truly successful individual is able to leverage and harness the power of people. So please, invest in people. Take the time to be curious, to care about others, and to give to others. And your life will be so much richer as a result. And the third is, do meaningful work. Find ways to pay it forward, whether it's in your community, through a hobby, in your workplaces, but please find meaning in life and find ways in which you can make an impact, be it big or small. It's so important that we feel fulfilled and that as individuals, we feel like we're making a difference. And we would not be here were it not for the founders and the numerous stakeholders of Ashesi that have invested and are doing meaningful work on our behalf. As a class, like I mentioned, we've really navigated great highs, but also had to contend with some pretty low lows. One of them was this year, where we had to deal with the loss of a beloved classmate, Mary Stephanie Moki. Mary was such a light and a blessing to all those around her. As a native of Ivory Coast and Ghana, she was able to effortlessly weave between the two cultures and had such a zeal of life. On behalf of Marie and to memorialize her, the class of 2011 would like to make a donation of 31,000 cedis, which will go towards the Ashesi Office of Diversity and International Programming. To help with their numerous efforts and their amazing programming at infusing cross-cultural collaboration, we want to invest in this program to remind you all to live life in the moment, to continue to invest in the people around you and to cherish those around you, and to also invest in learning more about others and weaving various cultures together. We think this will go a really long way in further enriching the experience at Ashesi. So again, to end it all, please do not forget to stay connected with us. We are ever willing to help you and to support you. Stay connected with each other and also continue to invest and pay it forward so that we can continue building this amazing community and this amazing institution, Ashesi, into one that will last for the ages. We know you're going to kill it. Congratulations again and all the best.
On behalf of the entire Ashesi community, I wish to extend my sincere gratitude to all of you for joining us for this ceremony today. I wish you all the best for the rest of your day. I now declare the 17th commencement ceremony of Ashesi University fully dissolved. Congratulations, class of 2021.
Oh yeah, we made it. Mama, we made it.
Congrats, Ellie. I'm very proud of you. And I know that you know how proud I am of you. Congrats to you in class of 2021. It's not been easy, but God has seen us through. Go out into the world and show them what you're made of. I I am proud of you.
Congratulations, Ohima.
Ohins, my firstborn, the beginning of my strength and happiness. You have trampled on snakes, serpents, and scorpions to wear the victor's crown. We are mindful of your relentless effort to beat shame and disappointment. We are mindful of your tears and sleepless nights. Boldness, dexterity mixed with anxiety to deliver your project work. I, your daddy, on the occasion of your graduation, rejoice together with you to say, Ayuko, congratulations. Your mommy will shout,
Ohins, my baby, Aiko.
Your junior sister, Mami K, will shout.
We are so proud of you, Ohima. You are blessed and highly favored.
All together, we say, Ayuko, congratulations. God bless you.
Congratulations, Ashesi, for holding successfully the global students. I wish you the best and wish the students the best of luck in their future assignments. Thank you very much, and I congratulate you in particular for successfully having my grandson achieve quite greatly in his studies. Thank you very much for your good work.
Congratulations, Kosinati Mzembe. You have made the entire family very, very proud. We thank God for the blessing, and we thank God for the huge achievement. We ask God to continue opening doors of blessing upon your life. And to the class of 2021, you guys have worked really, really hard, and now you're graduating. We say thank you to God for the blessing. May you go out there and shine.
Congratulations, Michael and Kristen. So on behalf of myself and the family, we'd like to say congratulations. You guys have been through the mill and have survived it. I know I've been at Ashesi myself. I know 4 years as Ashesi is not a joke, but I'd like to say you guys have plowed through and have come out victorious. Enjoy your day. And to the graduating class as well, you guys go out there and live your life and be successful. And also remember that Ashesi gave us more to also give to the world. So enjoy a wonderful day.
Congratulations, Michael and Kristen. I just pray, that God does amazing things in both of your lives, and I know that this is just the beginning of something great. Amen.
Bye.
Hello, congratulations to Usua Alasan, my junior brother, for graduating summa cum laude. We are very proud of you, and we want to assure you that this is just the beginning of greater feats for you to achieve. Congratulations once again, and the whole UC family is very proud of you.
Congratulations. Congratulations to you, Alasan. I'm really happy that you have made it.
Congratulations, Alasan. You proved once again that hard work must pay off, and we are really proud of you. Teachers of Nadezin Academy, where Master Alasan has worked before as a teacher, students at the back there, we are very excited, and we want to say congratulations for this outstanding achievement. Students and teachers of Nadezin, we are saying that congratulations, and God bless your certificate.
Hi, Nadine, congratulations. This is my congratulation message to you. You have been such an incredible and amazingly inspiring sister and an individual. So we are super proud of you. I'm super proud of you individually and the whole squad. Damn, you made it, girl. You made it. We're proud of you. Mwah.
Hello, Ashesi parents and graduating class. I'm the happiest parent alive today to see my daughter Kizita graduate, and I believe I say this for all parents here today. We have watched our children work hard to become adults, and we all know how tough times have been during this pandemic, but nevertheless, they persisted, and we actually got to watch our children face to face go through meetings and deadlines to achieve their goals. Lecturers and Ashesi, we thank you. And now to the graduating class of 2021. May God's potential in each of you be revealed as you start the next chapter of your lives. Remember, you are also the ones to write the next chapter of our communities, societies in Ghana and Africa as a whole. Go class of 2021 and make that change.
Hi Mina, this is your big sister Nana. I am just here to let you know the whole family is super proud of you, girl. We congratulate you on your achievements and we thank God for your life and for bringing you this far. We thank God for where He's taking you and we thank God for making your dream come through. As you graduate today, we wish you nothing but the best of everything. And then always know that your family is there for you and we support you 100% in everything you do. Just so you know, we love you, girl, and we are super proud of you, girl. Yes, so take care and all the very best, little sister. Love you. Bye.
Congratulations to the students of Ashesi University 2021. We thank God how far you have brought us. This has been a rough journey, but hey, we made it, and we're proud of you as a parent. Congratulations again, and the whole entire body of Ashesi. We say Ayiko.
Look at him, look at her, look at that. All dressed up for a day like this. Past 4 years, really past time.